Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit. Local 4 News starts now.
We begin tonight with parents wanting to know what happened this morning at Belleville High School after a 15-year-old was discovered with a loaded gun in school.
Mara McDonald live at the high school tonight. Mara, the district called this special meeting this evening.
Devin, they did. After sending an email home to parents alerting them to what happened, parents had some questions and they came out tonight to find out more. Parents heading into the auditorium tonight to hear details on this. The email informing parents a 15-year-old brought a gun to Belleville High this morning.
We've been transparent all day with the situation with parents and staff. And, we want to continue that so they feel comfortable sending their kids here tomorrow. That 15-year-old was in a bathroom before first period changing his clothes when a gun fell in the stall. Fellow students saw it and reported it immediately to the principal. Staff went to the bathroom and found that student. We were moving him to the office to search him, and that's when he walked out the front door. The police did a nice job apprehending him, found the gun. Everything was handled pretty quick. It all happened in a very short period of time. Turns out that boy didn't bring the gun to school to harm fellow students, but because of a problem at home. But for parents who came out tonight for details, it doesn't make them feel any better.
The mindset that would allow you to take a gun to an argument, we can't have it at school.
I want to know if there were bullets in the gun. I want to know if the person's ever coming back to the school.
It's a reality that the kid had a firearm. How are we still able to allow our kids to get firearms, and what are we doing to at least prevent it or stop it?
Back here live tonight, Belleville PD arrested this 15-year-old. He is currently being housed at the Wayne County Youth Home. We're live in Belleville tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Hey, Mara. There are multiple developments in the war in Ukraine as the siege on the country hits its 12th day.
Let's take you through tonight's big headlines. Ukraine accused Russia of violating a ceasefire agreement that was designed to allow for civilian evacuations as Ukrainians are forced to stay put and risk attack or leave home and head to Russia. The United Nations says at least 1.7 million Ukrainians have left to escape the fighting, but local officials say hundreds of thousands of others are trapped without power, no food, water, or medical help. Today, President Biden held a call with leaders of France, Germany, and the UK. They talked about raising the costs for Russia. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says the U.S. and its allies are considering a ban on Russian oil and natural gas imports, but in the meantime, the U.S. is providing more help.
We're surging our security assistance to strengthen Ukraine's capacity to defend itself. We're increasing humanitarian aid to the Ukrainian people, both those still inside Ukraine and those who have had to flee. We're raising the costs on the Kremlin and all who aid and enable it for continuing this war.
Leaders from Ukraine and Russia are scheduled to meet again Thursday in Turkey.
Here at home, hundreds gathered in Warren for a car rally showing support to the people of Ukraine. Our Tim Pamplin was there with the night cam.
Several hundred Ukrainians and their supporters set off from St. Josephat Church in Warren. 696 and Ryan seems to be the epicenter for the Ukrainian diaspora.
You have the Ukrainian Cultural Center, you have one credit union, Ukrainian credit union there, another credit union there. This is a Ukrainian church. There's a Ukrainian village over there. I'd say this is probably the middle of the Ukrainian community here in southeast Michigan.
With a police escort, the convoy made its way north up Ryan Road, through the neighborhoods. Neighbors coming out to wave. One was William Bruzinski here. You can see him on the right-hand side. His dad was Polish, mother Ukrainian.
It hits you right here. It does. It really does. What's going on over there it's not right. You know, it's just totally not right.
When they arrived at the Ukrainian Catholic elementary school in Warren, they sang, and they prayed, and they wrapped their arms around one another.
Ukrainians deserve to be treated like they treat others, with love, respect, and kindness.
I actually stopped looking at my phone because all I do is sit there and cry and worry about how this is going to end and about the family.
She says her immediate family is back in Ukraine. She feels helpless. The evening ended with the singing of the Ukrainian national anthem. And many wondering, when will this end? In Warren this evening with the night cam, Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Beautiful show of support, Tim. We appreciate it. Well, the Russian invasion has sent gasoline prices soaring, and here in Michigan, they have now hit their highest level since 2013.
Yeah, on average in Metro Detroit, we're paying $4 a gallon, but we saw prices well above that throughout Metro Detroit today. AAA says Ann Arbor has some of the least expensive prices in our area. That $4 a gallon is 46 cents a gallon more than just last week. It's $1.25 more than this time last year. But to help you out, the team at clickondetroit.com is tracking the cheapest prices in the area. You can check out the gas prices where you live, see if you can find a better deal, and share it with everyone. It's on the homepage of clickondetroit.com. All right, we kicked off the work week with both rain and snow, just getting the bases covered.
Andrew, mostly dry tonight, though. Are we going to keep it that way?
That's right. Mostly dry, minus a few snowflakes that are out there. Emphasis on the word few, but they are out there. So a little bit slippery in parts of the area. Not a big mess, though. That's some good news. But if you are working the night shift, thank you, first of all, but be careful getting to and from your destination. In Utica, we got a few snowflakes falling. Same thing over here in Sterling Heights, stretching down to areas just south of Mount Clemens, including areas like Fraser, but also up toward Chesterfield Township. Same thing along the Lodge, or at least just east of the Lodge, closer to Southfield, Lathrop Village, also the Ferndale area. Beverly Hills, Huntington Woods being affected by a few snowflakes here and there. A few more with a bigger batch here. You can see right around the town of Hamburg and here in northern portions of Washtenaw County. More of this lake effect snow is due for us as we go through the overnight hours, but it continues to pass in and out, and it'll be on and off overnight, and even when you wake up tomorrow morning. But it should not slow you down too much. If you like, go ahead and factor in an extra 3, maybe 5 minutes to get to your destination on your morning commute. And make sure those furnaces are working. It gets colder with overnight lows in the 20s, middle 20s in the metro zone. South zone, temperatures down between 25 and 28 degrees in Lenawee and Monroe counties. West of 275, a little bit colder. Grab an extra blanket. Brighton down to around 24 degrees. Between 20 and 25 also in our north zone. So everyone's pretty much in the same boat. Some clouds overhead, getting colder, on and off snowflakes, but not too much of a problem. 34 right now over at the airport. Wind chills are in the 20s. I wouldn't be surprised if wind chills were in the teens when we started off on Tuesday. So that's something to watch out for too. Maybe an extra layer underneath the winter coat before heading out. Make sure the kids are bundled up too in the morning. 31 right now for our friends over in Lapeer, also around Imlay City. These temperatures we're seeing right now, upper 20s, low 30s, not too different than those we had at 6 o'clock. But again, it gets colder with those temperatures in the 20s overnight. Over our heads, we keep clouds in place. You can see on this computer model here, bits of blue showing up that start to stream in from the northwest and also from the west. Those are those scattered lake effect snow flurries and light snow showers that will be around overnight tonight and when we wake up on our Tuesday. Now, by Tuesday afternoon, a lot of those snowflakes subside. We keep some high-level clouds in place, so we'll see some filtered sunshine for the second half of Tuesday. And with enough sun, we'll make it closer to around 40 degrees. A little higher than today, but we're taking every degree we can get, aren't we? We're looking at temperatures there in the 20s overnight. Sunrise on your Tuesdays at 6:57. Still getting earlier and earlier. Amazing. It's happening before 7 a.m., right? 40 degrees for a high with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, but partly sunny at times as well. Not as windy as this past weekend still, with winds at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunnier skies on your Wednesday, a high of 46. Thursday, another beautiful day, a high of 44. That's above average, by the way. Enjoy those dry days because it does get slippery once again. Watching a storm system that may develop, giving us a rain-snow mix on Friday, some scattered snow showers on Saturday. Yes, we spring ahead 1 hour this weekend, but grab those winter coats again. It gets colder with highs in the 30s on both Saturday and Sunday. Back over to you.
Hey, Andrew, thank you. An update tonight on coronavirus cases in Michigan. The state added 1,656 new cases over the past 3 days. That's an average of 552 a day. Michigan is reporting another 16 deaths. The global death toll from the virus topped 6 million today. The U.S. has lost the most lives of any country, nearly 1 million people. Starting this week, Americans can order a second round of free COVID tests from the government. 4 at-home tests will ship through the Postal Service.
Michigan's Attorney General made a big personal announcement today. She talked about how the state will use money from a settlement in the opioid epidemic. Dana Nessel was part of a group of attorneys general that went after top pharmaceutical companies. Those companies have agreed to pay out $26 billion, and Michigan will get part of that. Evrod Cassimy was there as the Attorney General explained why it means so much to her.
So this settlement means nearly $800 million just for our state of Michigan. And right here in this very room, Attorney General Dana Nessel told us why fighting the opioid epidemic is so important to her, because it's personal.
I woke up feeling so sick I wanted to die. It was the worst feeling I ever had, and I realized very quickly, oh my God, I'm addicted.
Attorney General Dana Nessel was once addicted to opioids. A doctor prescribed them when she gave birth to her twins via C-section in 2003.
It was a painful process having to wean myself off of them. But you know what? Nobody warned me. Nobody said be careful. Nobody said that you could get addicted if you're just taking these pills in accordance with your doctor's orders.
She was able to wean herself off of them by lowering the dosage until she no longer needed them. Since 2019, when she took office, she took legal action against the country's 3 largest pharmaceutical distributors. This settlement will give Michigan a historic $776 million over the next 18 years.
I'm relieved. I'm relieved. And remember, that's just half of the money that is going directly to the municipalities and the subdivisions. The other half goes to the state. So that can then be appropriated.
The money will be distributed as early as April and every July thereafter. Each municipality will receive a dollar amount based on a number of factors. The funds must be used for opioid mediation, like disorder treatment, recovery support, addiction prevention, and first responder support.
I would start an aftercare or preventive services with those that are already addicted, and how do you get them counseling and treatment and a path forward.
Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard shared some of the ways his residents would benefit from the additional money in the fight against the opioid pandemic. He and other law enforcement officials and county executives joined Nessel in making today's announcement.
I know the experiences so many other people have had. I know the concept of being dope sick, and I understand how hard it is. You need help, and you need serious help. And that's what hopefully will, municipalities, counties, and the state will now be able to provide with these funds.
And Attorney General Dana Nessel also told us that this money is not going to replace the lives that have been lost by this opioid epidemic, but will get us one step closer to preventing further lives lost. In Detroit, Evrod Cassimy, Local 4.
Hey, Evrod, thank you. Jury selection begins tomorrow in the trial of 4 men who are accused of conspiring to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Adam Fox, Brandon Caserta, Barry Croft, and Daniel Harris will appear in federal court. Prosecutors say they plotted to kidnap the governor because of her stay-at-home policies and COVID restrictions back in 2020. They each face life in prison. Defense attorneys say the group of men were entrapped by the FBI. 2 men who pleaded guilty will be key government witnesses in the trial.
Former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder wants to avoid testifying in a civil trial. That trial involves engineering firms that are being sued over liability for the lead-contaminated water in Flint. Snyder faces misdemeanor charges in the water crisis. He says he has a right to remain silent. A judge has scheduled a March 15th hearing on Snyder's request that the subpoena be set aside. We'll keep following it. Tonight, former Macomb County Judge Carl Marlinga announces he is running for Michigan's 10th congressional district.
He's the 4th Democrat to enter the primary race this fall. Republican businessman John James has also launched a campaign in the 10th district, which includes parts of Macomb and Oakland counties. Marlinga says his campaign will focus on creating American jobs and taking back the supply chain. An owner of a local dealership is speaking out tonight after her business is targeted by thieves for an 11th time. Security video shows the suspects pulling up to C&M Auto Sales Saturday morning in southwest Detroit. One of them gets out, cuts through the fence, and breaks into the office, stealing 3 car keys. They then take off in a 2016 Suburban, destroying the fence. The owner says she's frustrated that this keeps happening.
This is a family business. It's just me, the dad, and my 2 sons. We don't have nobody here working. One day they're going to get caught. Or one day they're going to deal with the wrong person. When you do stuff like that, it's going to go back to you, no matter what.
So far, no arrests have been made.
Police in Grosse Pointe Farms are on the lookout for a man who's been stealing from senior citizens. This is the man police say got into 3 units last week at the American House Apartments on Kirchville Avenue, entered the unlocked apartments in the middle of the night by first walking into the Cottage Hospital emergency room and then taking the elevator to the 3rd floor. No one was hurt. He left through the north side of the emergency room, but anyone with any information on who this is should call Grosse Pointe Farms Police. A mystery solved tonight in Flat Rock, with the state identifying the substance that leaked into the Huron River.
Officials say it was fuel oil that leaked from a nearby underground tank. The company apparently responsible is Flat Rock Metal, Inc. They say the underground fuel oil storage tanks date back to 100 years when the facility was operated by Ford. The company tells us they had no record of the tank, nor did the state of Michigan.
I think they need to correct the problem and do what they have to do on their end, that's necessary for them to, fix the situation that occurred here.
Ford has not commented on the leak. Officials say the metal company has been cooperating to fix the problem. They say their next move is to track the movement of the substance.
Today, Detroit Mayor Duggan presents his proposed budget to City Council. The city cut $400 million from its budget 2 years ago due to COVID-related revenue losses, but the latest budget reflects city revenues returning to pre-pandemic levels. Mayor's spending priorities include neighborhood improvements and beautification, transit, and protecting retiree pensions. Today, the mayor talked about why the budget can return to pre-pandemic levels.
Interesting thing has happened. We are still being hit by the lack of downtown office workers paying the non-resident income tax. The reason we are able to give a status quo budget is essentially because of something that I know our Representative Durhal was a part of, but it was the internet gaming law.
It's where the money's come from. You can expect to hear more about the budget on Wednesday. Mayor Duggan presents his State of the City address. You'll watch that here, we hope, on Local 4 and click on Detroit.com starting at 7 p.m. It's sat empty for the past 25 years. Not going to stay that way for long.
That's right. The old Fisher Body 21 factory near I-94 and I-75 getting a new lease on life. The structure will be transformed into 433 apartments with a new retail district. At least 20% of those units will be affordable housing. Developers Gregory Jackson and Richard Hosey are behind the $134 million project.
I think, eventually people will take it for granted that any Detroiter of any color can lead a project of any size.
We just wanted to look to be seen as another area where you can live, work, and play. A fun area to come and hang out in, to walk up and down the street, ride a bicycle, walk a dog.
If City Council approves the project, construction could begin as early as next year.
Coming up tonight on Local 4 News at 11, auto insurance refunds coming soon. The governor announcing when insured drivers can expect to receive their $400 checks.
Plus, controversial comments by a Michigan State House nominee.
Tell my daughters, well, if rape is inevitable, you should just lie back and enjoy it.
Candidate under fire from members of his own party, what they're saying and how he's responding to that criticism. Pamela.
We're in Plymouth tonight, where a woman was shocked to learn that she was secretly recorded undressing at this Planet Fitness location. What police are saying about the man who did it and her warning coming up tonight at 11.